Welcome back to Village in Motion this Wednesday, January the 30th of 2019. And for this segment of the show, we have the volunteer coordinator here at Green Spring with us in the form of Uvonne Andoh, and we're very glad to have you with us, Uvonne.
Thank you.
And how long have you been with us?
I have been with Green Spring for almost 2 years, but I have been in this role for 6 months now as a volunteer coordinator.
Very good. And you having fun?
I am having fun.
You getting a lot of volunteers?
I am getting volunteers. I also need more volunteers.
Okay. What things do we need to volunteer for?
So there are a lot of things on campus and off campus that, volunteers can volunteer for. So we have the Crestwood Elementary School where, we have both our IL residents and our Garden Ridge residents who go off campus to volunteer at the local elementary school. So pretty much what they do there is they assist the students with reading, with math problems, helping them in the classrooms. So if you're interested, if it's something that probably you did in the past or something that you want to do now, there is an opportunity for that. So if you're interested in volunteering, just talk to me and I'll give you the information needed.
I'm going to ask you this again, but how do we talk to you? How do we get in touch with
So
you?
I am located in Garden Ridge. That's my office on the second floor. If that is not possible, because I know the distance from here to Garden Ridge, my phone number or my email address. So that will also be provided to you and you can contact me. So via email, phone, or in person. Or I can always meet you where you are. So that works for me.
All right, very good. There's a lot of things going on here within the campus, as well for us to volunteer for, right?
Yes.
And those are?
So with different volunteer groups, of course, people volunteer in those groups. So you have the treasure chest, the computer clubs, people volunteer in that, the any crafts going on, the knitting groups. So any volunteer opportunity that you think you might be interested in, looking at different groups on campus, there are opportunities for you to volunteer on campus. And of course, not only in the IL side, but also in Garden Ridge. So one or two actually volunteer opportunities right now that I need volunteers for in Garden Ridge are the salon. So we need volunteers at the salon, and pretty much your role there will be bringing residents to their appointments and taking them back. The great thing about that is there is an incentive with that. So if you volunteer your hours of 1 to 4 hours, you do get free complimentary at the salon. So your hair cut, shampoo, you do get the opportunities for that too. So I am in need of volunteers. If you're interested, also contact me. And if you have a pet, specifically a dog, and you would love for your dog to be a companion at Garden Ridge, I am accepting volunteers as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
With the pets, with the therapy dogs, or what you'd call them?
Therapy dogs, that's
Are
correct.
they certified as therapy dogs, or it's just anybody's dog?
It's anybody's dog, but of course I have to make sure that your dog is friendly and your dog is able to interact with other dogs. The only thing, the process for that is once you would like to volunteer with your pet, I'll meet with you, go through the process with you. So pretty much I'll give you a form, and that form contains the policy and guidelines of bringing your pet to Garden Ridge, because of course it's a different level of care there, as well as making sure that all your pet records are up to date. So those are the main important things that of course you will fill out aside from bringing your pet there. And after all that is completed and we go through orientation, then you can bring your pet for a visit. And pretty much the group meets on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. So every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday will be an opportunity for you to bring your pet.
Absolutely.
Do you make a commitment for a period of time, or is it just anybody brings it?
So it's pretty much a commitment because it is a group that has been formed in Garden Ridge, and so the more the residents know you and you come at this specific time, the more they're more, open to you
Oh, okay.
and your dog. But also, if that does not work for you, of course, there are flexibilities where you can bring your dog anytime just to visit resident. But of course, you have to let me know so I can also make sure the residents are available for you to bring your dogs.
Okay.
But I prefer commitments just because of the fact that, the residents in Garden Ridge, the more they're used to you, the more they have that set schedule and
Right.
time, it is easier for them
Okay.
as well.
Do you have cats or any other pet other than
So
dogs?
at the moment, no, we do not have any other pet aside from dogs.
Okay.
Hopefully in the future we might look into that, but for now we are sticking with dogs because
Okay.
it's just easier. The process is easier
All right.
to bring your dogs.
So if someone has a dog they'd like to bring over, they need to contact you, go through the process, and make sure
Absolutely.
that the dog, they've done everything they need to do with the dog.
Absolutely, that is correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
All right.
So we need volunteers. If you have a dog, please spare your dog in Garden Ridge.
What do you need to do in order to be a volunteer at the salon?
At the salon, so you really don't have to do anything. All is, I just need your commitment and your availability. So pretty much, I also go through the orientation process with you, just for you to understand, where you will be volunteering in Garden Ridge, because of course it is different from IL. So pretty much just your hours, 1 to 4 hours throughout the week. That's all that is required of you, your commitment and just being available for the residents.
All right. How many volunteers do you have right now?
So in total, if we combine both external volunteers and internal volunteers, we have 539 volunteers.
Wow.
5 active, let me put it that way, 539 active volunteers, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
Active volunteers.
And you keep track of the hours that we volunteer,
I
right?
do, monthly, I do.
And what's the reason for that?
So a reason, not only because it helps, with the community at large, but we like to keep track of hours just to show our appreciation, because we understand with volunteering, you are sacrificing your time, you are giving your availability to help the community at large. So at the end of the month, at the end of the year, I collect all those hours that you have done. And the following year, we have the Presidential Award where we recognize all our volunteers who have volunteers at least 100 hours and above.
Okay.
So what we like to do is, of course, show our appreciation, acknowledge, and say thank you to our volunteers for the many hours that they put in. So, of course, this year, which in February 21st, we're having our Presidential Award. So be on the lookout for an invitation in your mailbox.
Okay. And that's from volunteers from 2018, right?
That is correct,
For
2018.
the hours that people...
Absolutely, that is correct.
And so everybody should have turned in their hours to you by now, right?
Yes.
What happens if they have not?
So if they have not, unfortunately, it's very hard for me to, invite you to the Presidential Award because I do not have a certificate for you. But that doesn't mean that you cannot get a certificate. I can always reorder a certificate and a pin for you. But if you haven't turned in your hours, unfortunately, you might not be recognized at that event. But of course, you will be recognized for your hours that you have dedicated.
And the event will be the 21st of February?
Which is Thursday from 1 to 2:30 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
Very nice.
So come prepared. Come with an empty stomach because lunch will be provided as well.
All right.
Yes.
That sounds really good.
Yes.
When people do hours, how should they record those hours? How should they keep track of those
Right.
hours?
So at every front desk, so Town Center, Hunters Crossing, and Village Square, I have an volunteer hour form for 2019. So if you just go to your front desk, ask whoever is working for an hour form, volunteer hour form, they will give you that form. Now, if you don't want to do it that way in regards to actually writing your hours down, you can email me and I'll email you a copy of that form. If that also does not work for you, of course, I like to be flexible and also for the residents to be flexible and turn their hours. You can just shoot me an email and tell me how many hours you completed for that month.
Okay.
But at every front desk, there is a volunteer form that you can fill out. And when you turn in that form to the front desk, of course, we'll pick it up and record your hours.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
What other things are going on with volunteers that we need to know about?
So at the moment, because of course the year is starting, nothing major yet aside from the presidential award, and of course a volunteer month is coming, which is in April. So of course there will be different events going on to show our appreciation. There's Read for America coming up in March. So it's pretty much nothing major yet,
Okay.
but of course I'll keep you updated if there are any big events coming up.
Oh, very good. Well, Uvonne, we are very, very glad that you're with us, and we're
thank
glad
you.
you're in your position as
you.
volunteer coordinator. And we just need to get involved and volunteer, right?
Yes, please.
You
get
can always use
involved.
more volunteers.
Always.
All right.
Keep volunteering.
And record those hours.
And
right?
record those hours, yes.
Very
Thank
good.
you so much.
Well, thank you for being here. And do come back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.